I'm not sure if any of you creators have had this come up onto your channel dashboard, but you can see your creators outside of the US, you have to prepare to submit your tax information to AdSense. So I kind of looked into this and I think I have it figured out what I got to do. I'm a creator in Canada, but I believe it's probably somewhat similar for your country. So I'm going to help you find out what you need to do to get the best tax benefits that you can possibly get. First thing you need to do is you need to open your AdSense tab. When you get into AdSense, you see this message right here. If you don't have this message, you can get to it under Payments, then under Manage Settings, and then at the bottom towards the United States Tax Info. Click that and then hit Manage Tax Info. And then click Add Tax Info. And then this pops out and makes you log in again. So the first thing is, what kind of information do you need to add in for the IRS? So for myself, I'm an individual. I'm not a citizen. I'm living in Canada. And then here's our different settings. W8BEN is basically for individuals, more or less, and W8ECI generally for businesses. So let's start the W8BEN. So here you need to put in your information, where you live. For myself, I'm a Canadian. So let's just select Canada. The foreign TINs. This is basically your tax information number. Now you can get this by filing for a business number, but if you're just a small YouTube creator like myself, what you can do is if you go under this following web page, and I'll link this in the bottom. So this website is actually useful for all countries, and it basically tells you different rules for the tax identification numbers for different countries. Let me just try Cayman Islands. They don't have tax identification numbers. So for Canada, a tax identification number is your SIN, your social insurance number. If you're just a small business, I'm pretty sure that's what you can use. So you get your social insurance number. If you don't know your social insurance number, it's always on your tax return. Okay, now back to here. So for my foreign TIN, click on there, pump it in, and then you hit next. And then you get a bunch of questions. Your address. Next, are you claiming a reduced withholding tax under a tax treaty? So it's like, I don't know what our tax treaty is. So what you can do, you can click here and fiddle your way through there what they have. But what I have here for you is different websites where you can figure out what kind of tax treaties your country has. What I'm going to just search for is Canada, and to see what sort of tax treaty. The first one comes up here, Canada Tax Treaty Documents. So there's two main files. So here's the tax treaty itself. So we'll open that. And then there's also a technical explanation. We got both these tabs open here and here. So let's go back to our AdSense. Yes, I'm going to claim it. I'm the resident of a country claiming a treaty with the US. Go to Canada. Then you can select off these three different options, and they kind of tell you where the article and paragraph is. So it's Article 7, Paragraph 1. And if I go to Article 7, Paragraph 1 on the tax treaty, Article 7, Paragraph 1, which is right here, basically says the business profits of a resident of a contracting state will be only taxable only in the state that the resident carries the business in the contracting state through a permanent establishment situated there. So basically saying I should only be taxed in Canada for this. If he carries on or has business profits of the resident may be taxed in the other state, only as much of them is attributable to that permanent establishment. So if I don't have a permanent establishment in the States, then I should be taxed for the work that gets done there. So that's Article 7, Paragraph 1. It's the reduced rate is 0. The reason I meet this terms of the treaty, doesn't have a permanent resident, I don't live in the state, I don't perform independent personal services in the States, I don't have property and royalties, etc., etc. So one more thing, we can also go to the explanation of this right here. So this is the technical explanation, so let's go to 7, and here it is, Paragraph 1. This basically explains it a little bit more in detail. So I'm putting this off for reference for you to read, to look up. If you're a Canadian, you can read it for yourself. If you live in another country, you can see if there's a treaty with your country as well. The next one, Motion Picture TV, YouTube, and Google Play. Article 12, Paragraph 2. This is nicely clickable, so you just click 12. Paragraph 2. So royalties arising from the contracting state shall be paid to a resident of the other contracting state may be taxed. So here it's saying you can be taxed, but they may also be taxed in the contracting state in which they arise, and according to such laws of the state. But if the resident of the other contracting state is the beneficial owner of the royalties, the tax so charged shall not exceed 10%. So let's go look at the technical explanation. Article 12. Paragraph 2 provides that such royalties may be taxed in the contracting state in which they arise, but that if a resident of the other contracting state is the beneficial owner of the royalties, the tax in the contracting state of source is limited to 10%. The reduced rate is 10%. And basically this says the same thing as up there. The last one, copyright. This is Article 12, Paragraph 3. So let's take a look at that. notwithstanding, and 2, the copyright royalty shall be taxable only in the other state. And then the explanation is paragraph 3. It kind of goes over, so you have to read this yourself. I'm not going to read it all to you, but I will provide these links and you can look through it all yourself. So for myself, that means that is the reduced rate for that, and I will click OK. Next. So then there's 4 forms. You can review them to make sure they're good. So when you click them, it'll open a PDF with all the information in there. You got to just review it and make sure it's in there correctly. You know, if you typed it correctly for one, it should be fine for all of them. And then I confirm that it's accurate to the best of my knowledge and believe that they're true and complete. Hit next. Under penalties of perjury, I declare that I've put my name. I guess I'm listed. Hit next. Has the individual performed any activities in the US? What is that? If you selected no, you certify that Google doesn't pay your organization for services or activities performed in the US. I don't do services or activities for Google. Yeah, I don't really do services provided to Google. Status change. Are you providing tax info for a new or existing payment provider? No, I have received some payments. Penalties of perjury, January 1 to the present. So that's basically going back a little bit. Submit. I think we're done. So what this means is now I should not get walloped with a tax bill because Canada has a tax treaty with the United States. All right, approved. I think I'm done. Oh, there are some non-US affidavits. So I'm going to save all these files as well as the other files because it's probably good just to have them. So there we go. Now I have my tax info done. So basically, I'm not claiming that this is how it needs to be done. I'm showing how I did it, where you can get some of the information to help you do it if you want to do it on your own. And I hope this video has been useful. I realize it's not my typical type of video. If this video is useful for you and it's going to save you some money, I would appreciate a subscription. Check out my other videos. They're more like DIY around the house videos. And wishing you an amazing day. Take care and have a good one.